What's up guys, Duarte here with another Marvel Strike Force video, and today we are going to take a look at the Avengers. We are going to take a look at the new Avengers, their new abilities and so on. We are going to take a look at the best T-Force for them, and then we are going to take a look at my favorite team composition for the Avengers without ruining any other team. And we are going to take a look at one version for the Avengers on offense, and then we are going to take a look at another version of the Avengers for defense. And after that we'll take a look at some gameplay of this team in action on Blitz on tier 8 and above. Just a quick reminder that 50% of my viewers are still not subscribed to my channel, so if you find information on this video helpful, I hope today is the day you consider subscribing. We are trying to reach 5,000 subscribers until the end of the month. Okay, starting off with Captain America, he's basic on the T4. It always gives him defense up. But what I have experienced with the version of the team I use is that with the Inspire alone, you'll always have defense up because of the controls that you'll be applying to the enemy team. So in my opinion, this T4 is completely useless, so skip it. This one, I mean, it's okay, not terrible, gives more energy, applies defense up to all allies instead of being only 4. But I think it's a very luxurious T4 that it's something you can consider, but it's not something I recommend. Now this one, increase the amount of speed bar that this character gets whenever he does the ultimate. The ultimate is quite good, clears 2 positive effects from the enemies and chains for several targets. So this T4 is not bad, but it's another luxurious T4 that, sure, if you have him like that at 6 red stars or something like that, it's something you can consider. It's more damage and you have him on a faster cooldown and so on, but very luxurious. I would definitely skip it. And now in terms of the passive is very good, but it's mostly for Alliance Wars because this bonus that it has, 20% max HP for himself and for all the Avengers allies. It's great, but it's one of those T4s that is Alliance Wars only. So if you use this team all the time on Alliance Wars, it's a great T4. If you don't, it's not a great T4. So yeah, Captain America, 3 luxurious T4s, and the basic, it's nothing special. Now let's take a look at the lady, Black Widow. And on this girl, I recommend a lot of T4s because they are quite good. So starting off with her basic only increases her damage by 60%, single target damage, and she doesn't have impressive base damage. So this damage will be mitigated by armor, by deflects and so on. So it's not a great T4. Now the special is a little bit luxurious, but also has a lot of utility. You do this ability quite often because she has so much speed up and because Captain America is giving energy. So clearing one negative effect, if that negative effect is like slow or blind or something else very disruptive or even disrupt, then it's going to be a good T4 and it's going to be very important for any match on offense or on defense because the AI usually uses this ability quite often. So that's a good thing. So this T4, it's a little bit luxurious, but it's also good, so it's one I recommend. Now, this one, I think it's a very important T4. Increase the damage of the first target and also the secondary targets. But we have to remember that we are applying 2 turns bleed to several targets. So if you have this at max T4, then the bleeds are going to do more damage. They're going to do 155% bleed damage instead of doing 100 and whatever. It's a huge difference, and because it's 2 bleeds for 2 turns for several characters, it's very important. If Hawkeye is an ally, it will always change to 3 targets. So 3 targets with 6 bleeds for 2 turns. I think this one is a very important T4, and yeah, I would recommend this one, especially if you have her at 4 red stars and above. And the passive always gains assist on Hawkeye turn and some extra speed. So that's going to be very useful because she will attack more often, she will dispel more often, she will have her cooldowns ready faster because she'll go much faster. So the passive is also other T4 that I will consider, once again, in case you use this team often enough to get some value out of it. Okay, now let's take a look at Hawkeye, and this guy has been improved quite a lot. He is much better now. On his basic, increases the damage, single target damage. His base damage is not impressive and it's not piercing damage, so even if you increase this by a lot, it has a chance to give critical, but it's not going to be that big of a deal, so this T4 I don't recommend. Now on his special, instead of clearing 3 effects, it will clear all effects, but it's not very often that you face a team that has many buffs, unless you're like facing some Coulson shield that you messed up or something like that. So because of that, while it has some utility, it's not something I would consider unless you are using this team specifically to fight teams that have a lot of buffs. But why would you do that if you have better options? In case you don't have better options, then maybe it's a good T4 that you should consider. Now on the ultimate, it only increases the damage a little bit, 50% to all targets, but this ability doesn't have a high multiplier. It's only 140 plus 50, so 190. It doesn't have a huge base damage like we mentioned before. It's unavoidable, but it's not piercing, so you have to balance these things out, and in my opinion this is not a great T4. He always gains assist on Black Widow's turn, and because she's so fast, because she always has speed up and she's always giving speed up to other characters, they will get a lot of assists from each other. In terms of the damage increase from his ability on his passive, it's not great because it only affects stealth enemies, and I mean sometimes you face stealth enemies but not that often. So for that part the T4 is not great, but for the other part we have the guaranteed assist all the time. Because she goes so often, then maybe it's a T4 that you should consider. But once again, if you have decent red stars on your characters, like mine, only 2 red stars, there is no benefit in doing that. So only consider these T4s if they are like at 4 red stars or above. Now we have the Hulk, and the Hulk is so good. Like all these characters became so much better. I already had good options for them in different teams and so on. But now with this rework they are so much better, and they are so much better together. Now in terms of the T4s for the Hulk, it increases the damage multiplier of the ability and the secondary multiplier that this specific ability has. It's not great, and especially because it's single target, it's not an ability that I consider. Even that mine has 5 red stars, I think it's just unnecessary. Now his special clears all negative effects from self. He has now increased resistance thanks to something, I don't remember what increases his resistance. But it's not something that Hulk usually has many negative effects, and most of the effects that will stick to him will be stun or something like that, so you'll not even be able to use this ability. So I definitely don't consider this one. Now the leap. The leap is a luxurious T4. It's possible to consider because it increases the damage by so much and it attacks multiple targets. It also has the increased multiplier, the second multiplier, so you have 330% plus 1.5 if he is below 50%. So if you have him at 5 red stars, it would be decent, a luxurious T4. If you use this team often, then it's something that you might get some use out of it, but it's not one T4 that you are going to use in PvP or raids or something like that. So it's something you have to consider. Is it good enough to use only in war? It's a decision you have to make. In my opinion, it's a good T4, but it's not worth it. In the end, it's your game. You have to choose on your own. If Hulk is your favorite character, it's something you have to consider. Now, in terms of his passive is quite great. When he drops below 50% health, which happens quite often, he gets extra 25% turn meter. Great. That's always great. And this happens quite often, so you're gonna have a full turn every time he goes under 50% health. Whenever an enemy attacks a wave 1 Avenger, he will get more turn meter. That's gonna be relevant because he will attack more often. He'll get his cooldowns faster. Sometimes he also gets the speed up from Black Widow, so that's going to allow him to have more turns and so on. And because most of your team is Wave 1 Avengers, this is going to happen quite often. Now we're going to take a look at my two options, for one for offense and one for defense. And these two options is with the idea of not breaking any other team, because of course we could remove Coulson from the shield and he would be great here, but shield would not be anywhere near as powerful as it is now. We could use Falcon, we could use Thor, we could use War Machine, we could use Black Panther, we could use so many other characters, but we would be ruining other teams, including Vision. That is a character that can be used with the Guardians and makes them way more powerful thanks to his passive. So do we really want to break those teams that are already good with those characters in order to make this one just a little bit better? I think it's very unnecessary, and that's why I chose these two characters to benefit this team. And they are good on their own teams, but they are always sort of floaters. So it's characters that you can remove from their own team and make them better on this one without punishing their original team too much. Okay, so for the first pick, and this is going to be for the version of the Avengers that we want to use on offense, on Alliance Wars, or most of the times on Blitz, we have Quake. So Quake, first, she's on the Inhumans team, but she's not necessary on the Inhumans team. We already have Karnak giving slow there, so that's most of what she does there. And because that team is so beefy, it doesn't really require as much of the control that Quake provides. And because I have Beast there giving buffs to them, Quake become completely unnecessary there. Now, one thing we have to consider is that she is a shield character. Because she's a shield character, she'll get all the benefits from Black Widow, all that speed up, which will make Quake a lot faster. And the faster that Quake is, the faster she will apply slow down for 2 turns on your enemies. So you can apply slow to the entire team for 2 turns quite fast. On top of that, she has her special that clears positive effects from one target, which is a great ability. So in case we need more control, we need more cleanse or buff removal from the enemies, we'll have her, which is a great option to complement the abilities from Captain America. Then we have her with her ultimate that applies offense down to the enemies. It's a AoE attack, so she's going to do a nice amount of damage to all characters, and it's going to increase the survivability of the entire team, which this team has some, but it's mostly relying on Hulk and Captain America taunting. So this is going to increase quite a lot the survivability of the team. And then we have her passive, which is quite interesting because she gives 5% extra damage to all shield characters, and that's going to be Captain America, Hawkeye, and Black Widow. So those are 3 characters that are essential for this team. And Black Widow, she's going to benefit a lot from this increase in damage. Also Hawkeye, not so much Captain America. So it's something very interesting that we should consider. Unfortunately, it doesn't affect Hulk, but Hulk already has a nice amount of damage on his own. But this amount of damage is going definitely to help Black Widow and Hawkeye. So yeah, Quake is my pick for the Avengers on offense for Alliance Wars. And also for Blitz. Mantis is my pick for the 5th Avenger on Alliance Wars defense. While she doesn't get many benefits from being on that team, she still has the chance of getting the speed up from Black Widow, and because Black Widow is going so often, there is a high chance that Mantis will also have a speed up from time to time. The fact that Mantis has speed up will allow her passive to give her more health every time she has a turn. And as I show in my other video where I use the Hulk together with the Guardians, I show you the great combination that is having the Hulk with Mantis, because all of her abilities allow Hulk to be under and above 50% very often. And Mantis, she's also a great character because she heals a lot with her special, and also she heals a lot with her ultimate, which is something that this ability doesn't have much. It has a little bit of healing from Captain America, but it's not great. And because like Mantis is a very dumb character, the AI can play it very well. she just has to smack abilities. It's always the passive will always activate, the special will always heal everyone, the ultimate will always heal the target that needs to be healed. So it's a character that you can use on defense and that the AI will always play it properly. And because of all the benefits that Hulk has with his character, and also Captain America, because he's going to heal so much with his character, Mantis is definitely a great option in case you want to use the Avengers on Alliance Wars defense. What about the Guardians? Well, most of the people use Mantis as a floater. I'm one of the few people that were using Mantis there, and it was mostly because I was using Hulk there. So I think Mantis, she didn't have a home right now, so it's definitely going to be a great home for her to be together with the Avengers, and especially with Hulk for Alliance Wars defense. But you can also use them on offense, just they will kill a lot slower than with Quake. Okay, so for the best position of this team, if you are using Quake, you want to have Hulk, Captain America, Black Widow in the middle, Quake after Black Widow, and then Hawkeye. This prevents that the chains will always stop between Captain America and the Hulk, and they will never go through Black Widow. In case you want to use Mantis on this team, you want to put Mantis between Hulk and Captain America. That will allow her to heal a lot more because she heals more the adjacent targets. So she will always heal up the two tanks the most, and the Black Widow will block any chain that will go in direction of Hawkeye, which is the character that has less survivability of this team. So this is the perfect position of this version of the team for Alliance Wars defense. Okay, so now we are going to take a look at a few clips of this team on Blitz. So first match is on Blitz 8.1, and I want to keep you in mind that my Captain America is at very low level, so he'll not perform as great as he should. He's at level 56, everyone else is many levels above. So yeah, that's why he will die quite easily. It's gonna be because of that. And people ask me why I pre-record these videos, because I can play them faster. Like right now is at 1.5, I like to play them at 1.3, so I can still comment on them and watch them at the same time. I decided to choose teams that most of the times had big damage dealers like Captain Marvel, Punisher and so on, because I thought even that they are not perfect meta teams, it's still a good representation of what this team can do, especially on Alliance Wars where you can choose which match you want to face, and it's not like in Blitz where you have to punch up 100k or more. Okay, so you can see the amount of bleeds that Black Widow is doing. That's why the T4 is a good option. Hulk doing some damage, Quake applying slow to the team. They are completely slow, they cannot do anything. We have speed up. Because we are so fast and they are so slow, we already have a chance to apply slow to them and blind. And now we do the ultimate with Quake. So you can start to see why Quake is so good on this team. And once again, the Inhumans with Crystal, Yo-Yo, Beast, Black Bolt, and the other character I'm using there, they are great. So they really don't need the Quake there. And as you guys can see, this team with Quake on 8.1 beat this team fairly easy. Okay, so we have another clip with once again Captain Marvel. We have Wolverine, we have Deadpool, we have X-23, and we have Spider-Man. So there is a lot of burst damage, but we are going to use the control that this team can provide to stop that high burst damage from destroying us. Okay, so I decided to go for X-23 because she can be a pain in the ass sometimes. Captain America giving defense up, Spider-Man giving defense down, which is a problem. Especially because my Captain America is so low level. He's gonna take so much damage from the enemies. Black Widow offense up, applying Blitz to all the characters. You have to choose which character you want to attack, so she does as many Blitz as possible. There I made sure that Spider-Man had the blind, so he would not do the ultimate to us and kill one of our characters. X-23 is still stunned because we slowed them and we have the speed up, so we had so many chances to go again. And now we are a 4 versus 2, against Wolverine and Captain Marvel, which is not great, but we can do it. We have the stuns from Black Widow, we still have the slow from Hawkeye, we have the speed up from Black Widow, we have the taunt from Hulk. So easy mode to face Captain Marvel. Not great. Of course, we always want a character that applies heal block when facing Captain Marvel, but it still works. If you can apply the stun and the slow, it's still gonna work. Okay, lastly, we have this team of the Avengers against the Defenders. We always have to face the Defenders. If this team cannot beat the Defenders on 8.3, what kind of team is this? It would not be a great team. So that's exactly who we face. There is a strong Iron Fist, there is a strong Punisher, so that's the characters we have to deal with. Try to get rid of their damage as fast as possible and then use the control to kill the other characters. So instead of doing the taunt with Hulk, I just focus on doing as much damage as possible. Punisher there is completely destroying us because he has a nice amount of red stars. We want to stop his damage, so we stun him. We apply the Blitz to all the other characters, especially Daredevil, and that's why we stun the Punisher, so we can attack Daredevil without getting those counterattacks. With Hulk, we can do the taunt, we can do the ultimate. I decided to use the taunt, so Iron Fist does his ultimate on Hulk, and then puts Hulk at 50% HP, and we get offense up, and then we will do the ultimate on these three characters. As you see, it worked perfectly. Now we dispel those two buffs from them. We still have to kill that Punisher, it's taking a while. Quake with their ultimate. And because we have so much speed up and they have slow for 2 turns, Daredevil didn't even have the chance of giving counters to them. And that's why we were able to do Quake ultimate without having any problem. And that's another amazing thing about this character. So the second stun I use on Iron Fist, so he will not be able to heal, and we have enough time to deal with that taunt from Luke Cage. And here we can slow, but we can also flip the effects on Luke Cage, which is what I did. Then I tried to dispel, but he resisted. Now we can apply blind to Iron Fist in case he tries to do his ultimate once again. Unfortunately, he resisted because once again my characters are not at a very high level. He goes for the kill, that's fine. We still have those 2 characters. We should be able to get rid of them. Now we have another stun. It didn't work, resisted once again, but Hulk is taunting. It's very likely that Iron Fist is going to attack him again. So it's exactly what happened before. The counter kills him, and now we have offense up with the ultimate. Massive damage against Jessica Jones, and that's a W. So yeah guys, those are my thoughts on the Avengers, the best 5th in my opinion, the best positionings, the best T4s, which ones I think are necessary, which ones I think are good, but they are quite luxurious, and only if you have good red stars and so on. I think this version of the Avengers is great for Blitz and for Alliance Wars offense, and I think the version of Mantis is great for Alliance Wars defense because the AI is so dumb. It's definitely going to benefit from all these characters on defense. Are the Avengers the new top meta team in the game? No. But are they the worst team in the game as well? No. They are around above average, so if we have like 20 teams in game, they are probably in number 10 or a little bit above number 10. So they are not terrible, but they are not amazing, game breaking and stuff like that. Should you invest in them? Yes, you should invest in them a little bit, especially because you need them for the Doom campaign, for the last nodes. So it's going to be important if this team is leveled up. So yeah guys, that's going to be the video. I hope you guys enjoy it. If you did, you know what to do. You smash that like button like the Hulk smash with his new rework, the 3rd in a very short amount of time. If you found this video helpful, make sure you share it with your friends on Discord, Facebook and so on. If you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe, and I will catch you guys later.